Our next speaker is from the International Iqbal Society. He will be speaking on Ishq Rasul in the Kalam of Allama Iqbal. Please welcome Syed Noman Bukhari.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا ومولانا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. Today I'll be talking about Iqbal and the love of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. People who know about Iqbal, they know that there are certain terms, certain things that are associated with Iqbal. You cannot separate these things from Iqbal. Like one of them is khudi, like we know it, the philosophy of self that Iqbal introduces. Then there's faqr, like the poverty, like you just don't care about anything in the world. Then it comes ishq, the love. And if you take a look, and then there's hurriyat as well, like the freedom. You see this thing in the Iqbal's poetry all the time as well. I mean, he talks about the faqr, he talks about khudi, he talks about the ishq. But when he talks about ishq, we need to see one thing, that this is one emotion that is driving it every other thing of Iqbal. Like the khudi is driven by ishq, the hurriyat is driven by ishq, the faqr is driven by ishq. Like ishq is an Arabic word. I mean, it's used a lot in Persian poetry and in Urdu poetry as well, and also in Arabic poetry as well. Like ashaka in Arabic means it's like a vine that tangles across a tree. I mean, if you see that thing, it's like an ivy. I mean, it encompasses you so thing that it makes you die. This is ashaka in Arabic. And this is what happens, like if you are in ishq, then you lose your senses, you do not care about anything else. You're so emotionally involved with somebody. Like it's said that love is friendship on fire, and ishq is love on fire. This is the definition of ishq that the people give us. That I mean, when you are like, it's a sentiment, it's an emotion that's burning. That in Persian it says andukhtan. Like when you have this burning feeling inside you that you cannot control yourself, you lose everything. This is ishq. At one place, Iqbal says in his Persian poetry, but that's a part of the Urdu poetry, he says, Mustafa barasa khi shira ke hi ti hamaust. Ba Mustafa barasa khi shira ke ti hamaust. That reached to Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he is the deen. Ba Mustafa barasa khi shira ke ti hamaust. He is the deen. Agar ba una rasidi, if you're not able to reach Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, tamam Abu Lahabis. That even if you're Muslim, you are Abu Lahab. Because he was the person who was not able to reach Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was there, he was looking at him, he knew him, but he was not able to understand who this person is. And if you're not able to understand who this person is, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then even if you're a Muslim, you are Abu Lahab. In Surah Baqarah, Allah Ta'ala says that when they come to you asking for me, like, O Prophet, when they come, my people come to you asking for me, surely I am near. He says, my Prophet, if my people come to you asking for me, it doesn't say tell them. The kul is not there. The next thing is, surely I am near. So the scholar says when the people are reaching, when a person with a sound heart, comes to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then the God is there. There is no difference. I mean, the God says that you come to me, Prophet, when these people came to you asking for me, then yes, they have reached the right place. This is where I am, with you. In all the way we see, like Bangash Sahib said that as well, I mean, Allah Ta'ala is Rabbul Alameen. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is Rahmatul Lil Alameen. I mean, Allama Iqbal says that dar dil Muslim maqam Mustafa ast. That the maqam of sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the heart of a Muslim. Aburwe ma zaname Mustafa ast. Like our prestige, the honor that we have in our life is because of the name of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I mean, as one of these places, Iqbal says that, if somebody can remind me that thing from the Sasanai, Maqam ishq ko masti mein tu hi awwal wahi akhir, wo danaye subul khatmur rusul maulaye kul jisne, danaye subul, the one who knows the ways, wo danaye subul khatmur rusul, the seal of prophethood, maulaye kul jisne, the master of all, who ghubare rah ko baksha furugh wadi sina. What was Arab before the Prophet ﷺ came to the Arab world? I mean, nothing. And what it became after Prophet ﷺ came to this land? I mean, he granted this place. Ghubare rah ko baksha furugh wadi sina. Like what Turesina got the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then this Arab world became the place where this light of the haqq came to this place. And this place became when the people who were slaves become the leaders. Like when he says like quwwat-e ishq se har past ko bala karte. Like with the power. Like for Iqbal, ishq or love is not a mere sentiment. It's a powerful sentiment. It's a sentiment of power. He said, "Quwwat-e ishq se," with the power of love. Har past ko bala karte. Whoever is downtrodden, bring them to the higher stage. Dahr mein ishq mein Muhammad se ujala karte. I mean, enlighten this world with the name of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is what he says. So he says, "Ghubare rah ko baksha furugh wadi sina, nigahe ishq ko masti mein wahi awwal, wahi akhir." In the eyes of lover, he is the one, the first one, and he is the one, the last one. Nigahe ishq ko masti mein, he wahi awwal, wahi akhir, wahi Quran, wahi Furqan, wahi Yasin, wahi Taha. He is the Quran, he is the Furqan, he is the one who tells you what is, who separates right from wrong, and he is the Yasin, and he is the Taha. In one of his talks about Milad, I mean, we are here for the Mehfil Milad Nabi today. And Iqbal delivered a speech once. I just wanted to share a few points from that speech, because I mean, this is something that we need to learn. That after, behind all these verses of Iqbal and behind all these letters of Iqbal and the prose work that he did, what is the motivation standing behind it? So in this speech, he says that, I mean, we should make sure that for any person, I mean, for any person, like you go after somebody, you have idolized somebody. So whoever you are idolizing in your life should remain at the forefront of your eyesight all the time. It should not disappear from your eyes. So he said, Mehfil Milad Nabi is one of the things that, I mean, we should be celebrating to ensure that the spirit that we need to keep Prophet ﷺ in our lives, it should remain in our foresight. So he says there are three things we need to observe when it comes to the love of Prophet ﷺ. The first thing is on the individual level. He says on the individual level, one should always make sure that he should be reciting abundance of durood sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the first thing. If you want to bring the love of Prophet into your life, this is something you should do on the individual level. Recite abundance of durood. Once Iqbal, you know, we call Iqbal as Hakimul Ummah, right? The sage of Ummah, the one who diagnosed the problem of an Ummah and then diagnosed the treatment as well. So when somebody asked Iqbal, you are called Hakimul Ummah, how did you become Hakimul Ummah? How it became possible? He said, it's very easy. I recited durood on Prophet ﷺ 10 million times. If you want to become the Hakimul Ummah, do the same thing. You will become the Hakimul Ummah as well. So in this speech, Iqbal said the first thing is the individual level. On the individual level, we need to make sure that we can recite abundance of durood on Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam all the time. Like we should not, our tongue should always be our hearts and our tongue should always be reciting the durood on Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So the second thing is on the collective level. On the collective level, we should ensure that not everybody is reading or not everybody has the time to understand the life of the Prophet, but the scholars of Islam, they should make sure that in the gatherings, they should tell people about the Prophet ﷺ's life. his ikhlaq. I mean, what he used to do, how he used to treat people, how he used to treat the orphans. I mean, all these things. I mean, this is something we need to tell people, so I mean, they feel connection with Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this is very important, he said. I mean, and this is a reason all of us are here today as well. I mean, we have respected scholars, I mean, after me, and I hope that they will be talking about the seerah of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in front of us. So, I mean, we can learn and we can connect to the life and the personality of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He says the third thing is very difficult, but this is the most important thing. He says this thing, the third way is that we should always all try to remember Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in a way that we should start having the feeling that how he used to operate 1400 years ago. I mean, what was going inside is his heart when he was making decisions, when he was working with people. He said this is very difficult. I mean, in my speech or by reading the books, it's not possible that you will be able to attain that kind of spiritual level or spiritual connectivity with Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's a very difficult thing. He said this is only possible if you come across those people who have this love in their heart. I mean, this is sohbah, right? I mean, spending time with the people who have this ignition in their heart and who are living this life. And he narrates a waqia of Mulad Rum. He called Mulad Rum as his master as well, right? It's called Murid Rumi, Pir Rumi, and he called himself Murid Hindi. So he says, like, once Mulad Rum was crossing a bazaar, and there were a few kids playing in the bazaar, and Mulana used to love kids a lot, so he stood there and he started shaking hands and saying salam to all the kids. So one by one, the kids were coming to Mulana's room and they were shaking hands, praying his regards and everything. So there was a kid playing at a distance. So that kid called Mulana's room and said, Mulana, don't go, wait for me. And please accept my salam as well. So Mulana stood there. So after the kid finished playing, he came to Mulana's room and he said salam to him. He accepted the salam, and then there was a guy standing there. He said, Mulana, I mean, why you stood for this little kid for so long? Why you waited for him? And Mulana said, I mean, I swear to God, if in my place was Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam today, he would have done the same thing. So this is what he means by, living. I mean, you should be thinking about Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam at every step of your life. I mean, when you're driving, when you're talking, when you're making the dealings, when you're going to work, when you're dealing with your kids, with your parents. I mean, we should have enough knowledge. So again, I mean, this is ishq is one thing, but I mean, the ishq starts from adab. What is adab? Adab is a reflection of wisdom. Adab is a reflection of wisdom. And what is wisdom? Wisdom is to know the places of the things. And when you know the exact place of the things, the proper place of the things, and when you deal with the people in the way that they are supposed to be dealt with, this is justice. This is adl. So all these things, I mean, after Iqbal comes up with another thing, nazar, right? A glance or attention. Nazar nahi to mere halka-e sukhan mein na baith. Or another place he says, about Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, ये फैज़ान नज़र था या कि मकतब की करामत थी? Was it the books or the schools, or was it the attention of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam? सिखाई किसने इस्माइल को आदाब फरजंदी? Who taught Ibrahim the manners, आदाब फरजंदी of how a kid should treat his dad? So this fezan nazar, this adab, I mean, ishq is one thing. I mean, inshallah, we all can strive to bring this love of Prophet ﷺ into our lives, but it always starts with adab. I mean, we should always remember the place of Prophet ﷺ. And I mean, with the knowledge, another place it says that dino hikmat az kutab, dinya nazar. That you can get the knowledge and wisdom from the books. But to understand the deen, and we remember, for him the deen is Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In my very first verse I recited, I told you that he said, Mustafa barasakhi shura ke deen hama ust, that reached to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he is the deen. So he is saying, that ilmu hikmat az kutab, that the knowledge and the wisdom comes from books. But if you want to know the deen, then it comes from nazar. I mean, this is an unfortunate thing. I mean, Iqbal said that as well, and I think it's very right that, I mean, unfortunately, we have so many mosques, we have so many centers, but we still lack those people whose company can enlighten us. I mean, who we can spend time with and learn these manners. And if it's a problem, then, I mean, we all are the solutions. If we know there's an opportunity, then we all are the solutions. On our personal level, we are fathers, we are mothers, we are parents, we are sons and daughters. I mean, we can start this adab from our personal lives. We should start regarding our kids with adab, with our parents with adab, right? I mean, do we know the proper place of our parents? Do we treat them like our parents? Do we know the place of our kids? Do we have an adab for our kids? If not, then we can learn it, right? Ilmu hikmat az kutab. It's okay, we can go to the books. We have this immense ocean of books. I mean, when Rum was writing, when Iqbal was writing, when Sanai was writing, when Ghazali was writing, when all these people were writing, who were they writing for? For us. So we can come and learn from. When Iqbal was reading Quran at one time, his dad comes to him and he tells him that, Iqbal, do you understand what you're reading? He said, well, somewhat, yes, I do, but I mean, not, of course, I'm a young guy, I'm just starting to read Quran. He said, not fully, but yes, I'm trying to understand Quran. He said, Iqbal, whenever you read Quran, read it in a way that it's revealing on you. ये तुम पे नाजिल हो रहा है. I mean, you should have this feeling, like Hazrat Ali Karamallahu Wajhu, he used to say that when you want to speak with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I go for salah. When I want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to speak with me, I read Quran. So this is something we need to have in our life. This is what Iqbal says. This is not a book. This is something else, he says. The Quran is not a book. It's kalamullah. It's a word. It's the word of God. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala trying to speak with you. Right? So, I mean, I would like to conclude. I mean, much can be said on this thing. I mean, even if you talk about the love alone, so much can be said about love itself. And that's something missing in our lives, honestly. We have so much, we have everything in our life but love for each other and love for Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I mean, we claim a lot. Iqbal said to Iqbal, you're such a lover of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I said, don't say it. I don't even have a claim that I'm even the slave of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I don't have such claims. I mean, love is somebody that you do not claim that I have love. When people say you have love, that is love. People ask for the definition of love. But they say that if somebody is in love, they don't need to be told. And if you are not in love, then you cannot be told. This is something inside you. I mean, you need to experience this emotion inside yourself. So I would like to conclude my talk today with the Rubai. It's a very famous Rubai. It's a dua as well of Allama Muhammad Iqbal. He says, Tu ghani az har do alam man fakir. He says, on the day of judgment, Tu ghani, he's addressing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, Tu ghani, you are ghani. You do not need anything. Man fakir, I am the fakir, I am the beggar. Rooze mahshar uzr hai man pasir. On the day of judgment, if whatever excuses I will come up with, please accept my excuses. Tu ghani az har do alam man fakir, rooze mahshar uzr hai man pasir, gar tumi bini hisabam na gusir. If you think that my hisab is I mean, there's no other way but to take my hisab, as nigahe Mustafa pinha pakir. Please do not take my hisab in front of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I cannot, I mean, it's not possible for me to stand. I mean, I just shame me in front of everybody else, but not in front of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Jazakallah khair for your time. Assalamu alaikum.